There comes a moment in life when strength is no longer about lifting heavy weights. It's about lifting yourself out of bed without pain. There comes a morning when the knees whisper before they scream, when the back stiffens before it bends, when the mirror shows a body that has carried you for decades and now asks for mercy. If you are over 75, this is not the end of strength. This is the test of wisdom. Stoic philosophy teaches us one unshakable truth: you cannot control time, but you can control how you prepare for it. Aging is not the enemy, neglect is. For years, people have believed that eggs are the ultimate symbol of protein and vitality. And yes, they are powerful. But after 75, your body changes. Your digestion slows. Your bones lose density. Your muscles fight harder to stay attached to your frame. What worked at 40 does not work the same at 75. After 75, your body does not just need protein. It needs absorbable strength. It needs calcium that stays. It needs nutrition that protects bones, joints, and muscle at the same time. And this is where a humble food steps forward quietly: cheese. Not processed slices, not artificial blocks wrapped in plastic, but real aged, natural cheese. Why? Because after 75, bone density becomes a daily battle. Muscle loss, known as sarcopenia, accelerates. A simple fall becomes life-changing. Strength is no longer cosmetic. It is survival. Cheese contains high-quality protein that is slower, digesting, and highly bioavailable. It provides calcium in a form your aging bones can use efficiently. It offers vitamin K2 in certain aged varieties, a nutrient that helps direct calcium into bones instead of arteries. It delivers phosphorus, B12, and healthy fats that support joint cushioning and energy stability. Eggs give protein. Cheese gives reinforcement. This is not about replacing one with the other blindly. This is about understanding that after 75, your body demands density over volume. Stoicism teaches restraint, not excess. You do not need more food, you need the right food. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Kareem. At 78, he moved carefully. He avoided stairs. He stopped visiting friends because he feared falling. Once strong, once proud, he now measured his life in cautious steps. His breakfast was always the same: 2 eggs, toast, tea, simple, familiar, safe. But his legs weakened, his balance declined, he blamed age. One day, his daughter began adding small portions of aged cheese to his meals, alongside leafy greens and light movement. Not excess, not indulgence, just deliberate nourishment. 3 months later, something changed. Kareem still aged. Time did not reverse. But he climbed stairs without gripping the railing in fear. He stood longer, his posture straightened. His confidence returned before his muscles fully did. What changed was not magic. It was micronutrients meeting necessity. Strength is not loud. It is built quietly, in kitchens, in habits, in discipline. After 75, your digestive system absorbs nutrients less efficiently. You need foods that deliver more per bite. Cheese offers concentrated nutrition in smaller portions, ideal for reduced appetites. But remember the Stoic rule: moderation. Too much cheese leads to excess calories and sodium. Wisdom is balance, a small portion. About 30 to 40 grams of aged, natural cheese can be enough to support bone and muscle health when combined with movement and sunlight. Pair it with gentle resistance training, a daily walking, adequate hydration, leafy greens, a sun exposure for vitamin D. Food alone is not salvation. Action is. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. Aging is the impediment. Nutrition becomes the way. After 75, fractures are not minor events. Hip fractures can alter independence permanently. Muscle loss reduces balance. Weak bones reduce confidence. And fear reduces life. When you nourish your bones with calcium, rich protein-dense foods like aged cheese, you are not just eating, you are investing in stability. Eggs are excellent for muscle protein synthesis. But cheese offers something more targeted for the elderly: bone reinforcement, plus sustained protein delivery. And strength at 75 is not about looking strong, it is about staying independent. Imagine waking up without fearing the bathroom floor. Imagine walking outside without calculating every step. Imagine hugging your grandchildren without worrying about your back. This is not vanity. This is dignity. Your body has carried you through wars, heartbreaks, victories, children, sleepless nights, and decades of responsibility. It deserves deliberate care. The Stoics did not complain about circumstances. They adjusted their response. If your joints ache, respond with nourishment. If your bones thin, respond with reinforcement. If your muscles fade, respond with resistance and protein. Not fear, not surrender. Cheese, especially aged varieties like Parmesan or Cheddar, contains nutrients that remain stable and concentrated. They require less volume to achieve more benefit. That is efficiency. That is wisdom. But do not misunderstand. No single food is 1,000 times better than another in isolation. The real power lies in context, in what your body needs now. After 75, your needs change, and wisdom is adjusting before damage forces you to. Eat with intention. Move with purpose. Rest with discipline. The body declines when neglected. It adapts when challenged. You are not fragile because of age. You become fragile when you stop reinforcing yourself. Let this be the turning point. Not because someone revealed a secret, but because you chose to listen to your body's quiet requests before they became painful demands. Strength after 75 is not about pride. It is about freedom, and freedom is built one disciplined choice at a time. Strength does not begin in the gym. It does not begin when pain arrives. It does not begin after the fall. Strength begins long before the test. It begins in preparation. After 75, preparation becomes your greatest ally. The body no longer forgives neglect the way it once did. Recovery is slower. Bones are thinner. Muscles shrink quietly if they are not reminded to stay. Balance weakens if it is not practiced. And yet, many wait. They wait for the diagnosis. They wait for the fracture. They wait for the warning. But the Stoic understands something different. What can be prepared for should never be feared. Preparation is an act of self-respect. When you choose nutrient-dense foods, when you choose mineral-rich sources of protein and calcium, when you choose slow and steady resistance movements, you are not reacting to weakness. You are preventing it. The world may call this caution. A Stoic calls it wisdom. There is a silent battle that begins after 75. It is not loud like youth. It is subtle. Muscle fibers gradually disappear unless they are used. Bone density decreases unless it is supported. Joints stiffen unless they are moved. Preparation means acknowledging this truth without panic and without denial. It means asking, what will my body need tomorrow? And acting today. Preparation begins in the kitchen. It begins when you choose foods that deliver more than calories. It begins when you select protein that supports muscle retention and minerals that fortify bones. It begins when you understand that your appetite may shrink, but your need for quality does not. Each bite becomes a decision about independence. After 75, strength is not about lifting heavy objects. It is about lifting yourself out of a chair with stability. It is about walking across a room without hesitation. It is about maintaining posture so your spine does not collapse inward with time. These outcomes are not accidents. They are built through preparation. The Stoics believe that hardship is inevitable, but they also believe that unnecessary suffering is optional. When you nourish your body intentionally, you reduce avoidable hardship. You cannot stop aging, but you can slow the consequences of neglect. Preparation also means training the body gently, but consistently. A light resistance band, a controlled squat to a chair, a steady walk under sunlight. These are not dramatic acts. They are quiet reinforcements. Every repetition sends a message to your muscles: stay. Every step tells your bones remain dense. Every stretch reminds your joints move freely. Preparation is not glamorous. It does not attract applause. It is repetitive. It is disciplined. It is sometimes boring, but it is powerful. Many people misunderstand strength. They believe it appears in moments of crisis. But crisis only reveals what preparation has built. If you have nourished your bones for years, a stumble may remain just a stumble. If you have preserved muscle mass, a hospital bed does not immediately steal your mobility. If you have practiced balance, uneven ground does not become a threat. Preparation reduces fear. Fear often grows when the body feels unreliable, when knees shake, when balance wavers. When stairs become intimidating, fear begins to control decisions. You decline invitations. You avoid outings. You shrink your world. But when you prepare your body, you expand your confidence. The mind and body are not separate in aging. A prepared body strengthens the mind. Stability in movement creates stability in thought. When you feel capable physically, you feel calmer emotionally. Preparation also demands honesty. It asks you to admit that time is moving forward, not with bitterness, not with resistance, but with acceptance. Acceptance is not surrender, it is clarity, and clarity leads to action. You prepare because you value autonomy. You prepare because you refuse to let preventable weakness dictate your final decades. You prepare because your body has carried you faithfully for a lifetime, and now it deserves deliberate care. Think of the spine. It holds you upright. Yet without sufficient nutrients and muscle support, it gradually curves forward. Posture changes. Breathing becomes shallow. Energy declines. But when you prepare with strengthening movements and proper nourishment, you protect that structure. You defend your frame. Think of the hips. They are central to mobility. A fracture there can change everything. Preparation through weight, bearing activity, and mineral support fortifies them. You are not gambling with chance. You are reinforcing probability in your favor. Preparation also means consistency over intensity. At 75 and beyond, extreme measures often cause harm. The Stoic path avoids excess. It values steady effort. 10 minutes of daily movement is more powerful than 1 hour of rare exertion. A modest portion of nutrient-rich food is more effective than overeating sporadically. Preparation is built in the ordinary. It is built in the decision to stand instead of sit a little longer. It is built in choosing stairs when safe. It is built in practicing balance near a countertop. It is built in chewing slowly, digesting properly, hydrating sufficiently. Small acts accumulate. Neglect accumulates too. Many imagine that weakness arrives suddenly. It does not. It gathers quietly. It grows in the absence of preparation. A missed walk becomes a skipped week. A skipped week becomes a sedentary month. A sedentary month becomes measurable muscle loss. Preparation interrupts that chain. There is dignity in discipline. There is power in foresight. When you prepare, you also prepare your family. You reduce the burden of emergency decisions. You lessen the chance that others must carry you before it is truly necessary. Preparation is not selfish. It is generous. It says, I will do what I can, while I can. Strength after 75 is fragile only if ignored. The body still adapts. Research continues to show that even in advanced age, muscle can grow stronger with resistance. Bones can respond to load. Balance can improve with practice. The door does not close, but it requires effort to keep it open. Preparation transforms aging from passive decline into active participation. You are no longer drifting with time. You are steering within it. Even nutrition becomes strategic. Protein supports muscle preservation. Calcium and supportive nutrients fortify skeletal structure. Healthy fats assist in absorption. Hydration maintains joint lubrication. Each component works together. Preparation is holistic, and preparation requires patience. Results are not instant, but neither is decline. Both move gradually. Choose the gradual path that builds rather than erodes. Some mornings will feel heavy. Some days motivation will fade. Preparation does not rely on emotion. It relies on principle. You act because it is right, not because it is exciting. The Stoic does not complain about the season. The Stoic prepares for winter before it arrives. After 75, winter is not death. It is vulnerability, and vulnerability can be strengthened against. Preparation also includes rest. Recovery is part of reinforcement. Sleep allows tissues to repair. Calm reduces inflammation. Stress management protects the heart and nervous system. Strength is not constant strain, it is balanced restoration. There is quiet pride in knowing you have done your part. You cannot control every outcome, but you can control your preparation. If illness comes, you face it stronger. If surgery becomes necessary, you recover better. If a fall occurs, your resilience may prevent catastrophe. These are not guarantees. They are advantages, and life at this stage is about stacking advantages. Preparation builds margin. Margin gives safety. Safety gives confidence. Confidence restores freedom. Freedom to walk outside without calculating every step. Freedom to travel short distances independently. Freedom to carry groceries. Freedom to rise from the floor. Freedom to live without constant fear of fragility. Strength begins long before it is tested. It begins in the decision to care today. It begins in understanding that aging is not an enemy to fight recklessly, but a process to navigate wisely. It begins in preparation. There comes a stage in life when the body no longer asks for more food, it asks for better food. After 75, appetite often shrinks, digestion slows, and absorption becomes less efficient. Yet the body's need for strength does not retire. Bones still require minerals. Muscles still demand protein. The brain still depends on essential fats and vitamins. The heart still needs balance. The tragedy is not that people eat less. The tragedy is that they eat less of what truly matters. Nutrient density becomes the quiet difference between decline and resilience. When you were younger, the body tolerated excess. It could process larger meals. It could recover from nutritional mistakes. But time reshapes efficiency. You can no longer afford empty calories. Every bite must carry purpose. Every meal must serve structure. Food is no longer entertainment. It becomes reinforcement. Nutrient density means choosing foods that provide high levels of vitamins, minerals, quality protein, and beneficial fats in smaller portions. It means understanding that a plate full of volume is not the same as a plate full of strength. After 75, you may not feel hungry enough to eat large meals. That is precisely why each portion must work harder for you. The Stoic understands economy. Waste is avoided. Energy is directed where it matters. The same principle applies to nutrition. If you eat, let it count. A large bowl of refined grains may fill the stomach, but it does little for thinning bones. Sugary snacks may satisfy the tongue, but they offer no defense against muscle loss. Processed foods may be convenient, but convenience rarely builds stability. As aging progresses, muscle loss accelerates if protein intake is inadequate. This condition is not dramatic at first. It is subtle. A slight weakness when standing, a slower pace while walking, a hesitance when climbing stairs. These are not sudden events. They are consequences of gradual undernourishment. Nutrient-dense foods help counter this erosion. Quality protein sources support muscle preservation. Mineral-rich foods fortify bones. Healthy fats assist in the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. B vitamins sustain nerve function and energy metabolism. Magnesium supports muscle contraction and relaxation. Calcium contributes to structural integrity. Vitamin K assists in directing calcium to bones where it belongs. These are not luxuries. They are necessities. Quantity cannot compensate for absence. You may eat more bread, but it will not replace missing minerals. You may increase portion size, but without density, the body remains underfed at a cellular level. After 75, digestion becomes more selective. Stomach acid production may decrease. Enzyme activity can shift. This means that not only must you consume nutrient-dense foods, but you must also prioritize those that are easier to digest and absorb. Soft textures, fermented options, balanced meals. These are strategies, not trends. The body becomes less forgiving, but it does not become incapable. It adapts when supported. Many elderly individuals unknowingly consume enough calories yet remain malnourished. This paradox is common. The scale may not show dramatic weight loss, but muscle mass decreases while fat mass increases. Strength weakens even when weight appears stable. This is why focusing on quantity alone is misleading. Strength is built at the microscopic level. Imagine the bones as living structures constantly remodeling. Without sufficient calcium and supportive nutrients, this remodeling favors breakdown over rebuilding. Imagine muscles as engines requiring amino acids to maintain size and function. Without adequate protein, the engine shrinks. Nutrient density supplies the raw materials. It is wiser to consume a modest portion of high quality protein with mineral support than to eat a large, low-value meal that leaves the body searching for what it did not receive. This is not about restriction. It is about refinement. Refinement demands awareness, reading labels, choosing whole foods, reducing added sugars, prioritizing natural sources of essential nutrients, combining protein with fiber-rich vegetables, including healthy fats for absorption. These are deliberate acts. The Stoic does not act impulsively. He acts intentionally. When appetite declines, meals must become strategic. Smaller, more frequent nutrient-rich portions may be more effective than forcing large meals. A piece of aged cheese, a serving of yogurt, a handful of nuts, leafy greens, legumes, eggs, fish, these foods carry more structural value than processed alternatives. Hydration also contributes to nutrient delivery. Dehydration thickens the blood, slows circulation, and reduces efficiency in transporting vitamins and minerals. Water may seem simple, but simplicity often carries power. After 75, the body's signals may not be as loud. Thirst diminishes. Hunger becomes inconsistent, yet the need remains constant. Discipline replaces impulse. Nutrient density also protects the immune system. With age, immune responsiveness weakens. Adequate intake of zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D, and protein supports defense mechanisms. A nutrient-poor diet leaves the body vulnerable, not only to weakness but to infection. Consider the difference between fullness and nourishment. Fullness is temporary. Nourishment is structural. A plate can be full yet empty of value. Conversely, a modest meal can deliver what the body urgently requires. There is also the matter of inflammation. Processed, low-quality foods often promote systemic inflammation. Chronic inflammation accelerates joint pain, cardiovascular strain, and metabolic dysfunction. Nutrient-dense foods rich in antioxidants and healthy fats help moderate this response. Inflammation unmanaged becomes silent damage. Antioxidant-rich vegetables, omega-3 fatty acids, and mineral-dense dairy or fermented products support balance. They reduce oxidative stress that contributes to aging at the cellular level. Even the brain benefits from density over quantity. Cognitive decline is influenced by nutrient insufficiencies. B12, omega-3 fats, antioxidants, these support neural communication. A nutrient-poor diet dulls clarity over time. Strength is not only physical. It is mental sharpness, emotional steadiness, and resilience. Quantity may satisfy habit. Density satisfies biology. The elderly often face reduced activity levels. This lowers total calorie requirements. If calorie intake drops, but nutrient intake drops further, deficiencies arise. The solution is not necessarily to eat more volume. It is to increase the concentration of value in what is consumed. Small plates, powerful content. This approach prevents unnecessary weight gain while preserving muscle. It stabilizes blood sugar rather than creating spikes and crashes. It supports sustained energy rather than brief stimulation followed by fatigue. It also restores confidence. When the body feels stable, energy improves. When energy improves, movement increases. When movement increases, strength is preserved. Nutrition initiates the cycle. There is discipline in saying no to excess and yes to purpose. Highly processed foods are engineered for taste, not longevity. They are designed to encourage overconsumption. But the aging body does not benefit from being manipulated by cravings. It benefits from deliberate choice. Nutrient density requires mindfulness. Slower eating improves digestion. Balanced macronutrients prevent sudden insulin spikes. Adequate protein distribution throughout the day enhances muscle protein synthesis. This is precision. The body after 75 operates best with consistency. Erratic eating patterns, skipped meals followed by overeating, or reliance on convenience foods destabilize systems that already operate with less margin for error. Density creates margin. Margin allows recovery from illness. Margin supports healing after injury. Margin sustains independence during stress. And independence is built from inside out. There is humility in recognizing that you cannot eat the same way you did decades ago. But there is power in adapting intelligently. Aging rewards those who adjust. The goal is not abundance on the plate. The goal is adequacy in the cells. Every nutrient has a role. Protein repairs, calcium strengthens, magnesium regulates, vitamins assist, healthy fats transport, fiber supports digestion. Remove too many of these, and systems falter quietly. But include them consistently, and the body responds with stability. The Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control applies here. You cannot control time. You cannot eliminate all risk, but you can control what you place on your plate. Each meal becomes a vote for resilience. It is not dramatic. It is not loud. It is daily. Nutrient density matters more than food quantity because the aging body demands efficiency. It demands concentration. It demands purpose. It demands that every bite work as hard as you once did. Stability is never built in a single dramatic moment. It is built quietly, in ordinary hours, through choices so small they almost seem insignificant. After 75, this truth becomes undeniable. The body no longer responds well to extremes. It responds to consistency. It responds to rhythm. It responds to discipline in the smallest daily acts. Many people believe that transformation requires intensity. They imagine that one powerful effort will restore what time has taken. But aging does not work in sudden leaps. It moves gradually. And so must the response. The Stoic understands that greatness is not a burst of effort. It is repetition guided by principle. When you wake up and choose to stand slowly instead of rushing, you protect your balance. When you stretch gently before walking, you prepare your joints. When you drink water before coffee, you support circulation. These are not heroic actions, they are disciplined ones. Discipline is often misunderstood. It is not punishment, it is protection. After 75, protection becomes sacred. Muscles diminish without use. Bones weaken without load. Flexibility disappears without motion. Stability fades without attention. Yet none of this happens overnight. It happens through neglect of the small. The decision to walk 10 minutes daily may not seem powerful, but multiplied across months, it preserves mobility. The choice to include protein with each meal may seem minor, but over time it slows muscle loss. The act of practicing balance while holding a countertop may feel simple, yet it can prevent a devastating fall. Small choices accumulate, so do small omissions. A single skipped day of movement is harmless. A week becomes noticeable. A month becomes measurable. A year becomes decline. Discipline interrupts this silent erosion. The Stoics believed that character is shaped by habit. The same applies to the body. Your physical state at 85 will largely reflect your habits at 75. Not your genetics alone, not chance alone, but your repeated decisions. Consider posture. One moment of slouching is trivial. Years of neglect reshape the spine. Daily correction, even for minutes, maintains alignment. Stability begins with awareness and continues with repetition. Discipline is doing what benefits you even when emotion resists. There will be mornings when the body feels heavy. Days when motivation whispers excuses. It is easy to surrender to comfort. But comfort, when excessive, weakens structure. Stability requires mild challenge, not extreme challenge, not reckless effort, mild, consistent challenge. Lifting light weights regularly preserves strength more effectively than lifting heavy weights rarely. Stretching briefly each day maintains flexibility better than long sessions once a month. Eating balanced meals consistently stabilizes blood sugar better than dieting intensely and quitting. The body thrives on predictable care. After 75, recovery capacity narrows. This is why daily moderation becomes powerful. Overexertion can injure. Inactivity can weaken. Discipline finds the middle path. Even sleep reflects this principle. Going to bed at a steady time, allowing the body to repair, supports hormone regulation and tissue recovery. Sleep deprivation accelerates decline. Rest, practiced consistently, restores. Discipline also protects the mind. Mental stability mirrors physical routine. Reading daily, engaging in conversation, practicing gratitude, maintaining social contact, these small acts preserve cognitive sharpness. Isolation, like inactivity, compounds over time. There is dignity in structured living. The world may glorify spontaneity, but aging rewards predictability. Regular meals, regular movement, regular rest. The nervous system relaxes when it knows what to expect. Cortisol decreases. Inflammation lowers, stability increases. Every day presents countless small decisions. Take the stairs or the elevator. Sit longer or stand briefly. Choose processed snacks or whole foods. Ignore discomfort or address it early. Each choice alone is minor. Together they shape the trajectory of aging. Stability is not only about preventing falls. It is about emotional steadiness. When you maintain disciplined habits, you build confidence. Confidence reduces fear. Fear often causes hesitation, and hesitation contributes to accidents. A disciplined person moves with awareness, not anxiety. After 75, the margin for error narrows. A minor injury can become major. A small infection can escalate. But disciplined daily care strengthens resilience. Hydration supports immune function. Balanced nutrition strengthens tissues. Movement maintains circulation. Discipline is not rigid. It adapts. If one exercise causes discomfort, it is modified, not abandoned. If appetite decreases, meals are adjusted for nutrient density. The goal is continuity. Continuity builds lifelong stability. Many people search for shortcuts. Supplements promising rapid strength. Programs claiming quick reversal of aging. But the body respects steady input more than dramatic intervention. The Stoic path rejects shortcuts. It values process. Process is powerful because it is sustainable. Imagine two individuals at 75. One decides to walk daily for 15 minutes, perform light resistance exercises, and maintain balanced meals. The other remains mostly sedentary, occasionally attempting bursts of effort. After 5 years, the difference becomes visible. After 10, it becomes profound. Neither choice was dramatic at the beginning. But time magnifies repetition. Discipline in small daily choices also preserves independence. Independence is not lost suddenly. It erodes through tiny concessions, skipping walks, avoiding stairs entirely, letting others carry what you can carry safely. Gradually, capability diminishes. Capability must be exercised to remain. Even grip strength matters. Opening jars, holding utensils steadily, carrying light objects. These actions depend on muscles that weaken without use. Squeezing a soft ball daily can maintain hand strength. Small, almost trivial, yet meaningful. Breathing exercises enhance lung capacity. Gentle stretching protects range of motion. Standing on one foot briefly improves balance. These acts take minutes. Their impact lasts years. The Stoic perspective removes drama from discipline. It does not demand perfection. It demands consistency. Missed a day. Resume tomorrow. Felt tired. Adjust intensity but continue. Discipline is flexible persistence. There is also emotional discipline. Choosing calm over panic. Choosing gratitude over resentment. Emotional volatility increases stress hormones that affect the body. Chronic stress weakens immunity, disrupts sleep, and accelerates aging. Stability of mind supports stability of body. Routine creates psychological safety. Knowing you will move each morning removes decision fatigue. Knowing meals will be balanced reduces impulsive choices. Structure reduces chaos. Aging can feel uncertain. Discipline introduces certainty. Even sunlight exposure becomes a small daily choice. Stepping outside briefly supports vitamin D synthesis. Vitamin D influences bone health and immune strength. A few minutes daily is subtle but valuable. Discipline also involves regular medical checkups. Addressing issues early prevents escalation. Monitoring blood pressure, bone density, and nutritional status ensures that small problems remain small. Prevention is quieter than treatment but far more powerful. Hydration, posture correction, mindful chewing, social engagement, gentle stretching, each seems modest. But modest actions, repeated daily, become formidable defenses against decline. Stability is not static. It is maintained actively. The body is dynamic. It adapts upward or downward based on input. Small positive inputs shift the trajectory upward. Small negative inputs shift it downward. After 75, you cannot afford long periods of downward drift. Discipline does not require enthusiasm. It requires commitment. Even on days when enthusiasm fades, commitment carries you forward. Think of stability as a structure supported by many pillars. Nutrition is one. Movement is another. Sleep is another. Mental engagement, hydration, balance practice. Social connection, each pillar may appear thin alone. Together they create strength. Remove one occasionally, and the structure remains. Remove several consistently, and it weakens. Small daily choices reinforce each pillar. There is empowerment in recognizing that stability is largely within your influence. Genetics set the stage, but habits shape performance. The body responds remarkably well to consistent care even in advanced age. Research continues to show that muscle protein synthesis remains possible in the elderly. Bone responds to weight-bearing activity. Balance improves with training. The window does not close. It narrows, but it remains open for those who practice discipline. Discipline also builds identity. When you see yourself as someone who moves daily, eats intentionally, and rests properly, actions align naturally. Stability becomes part of who you are, and identity is stronger than motivation. Lifelong stability is not achieved through a single decision. It is achieved through thousands of quiet ones. The way you rise from bed, the way you prepare your meal, the way you step outside, the way you breathe, the way you sit and stand, the way you speak to yourself. Each moment offers a small choice. Choose wisely, repeatedly, and the body reflects that wisdom. Stability after 75 is not an accident of fate. It is the result of disciplined attention to the ordinary. And the ordinary, practiced daily, becomes extraordinary strength. Time will continue moving forward, whether we prepare for it or not. The difference is not in the passing of years, but in how we respond to them. Strength after 75 is no longer about proving power to the world. It is about protecting independence, preserving dignity, and reinforcing the body that has carried you through a lifetime of challenges. Preparation becomes your shield. Nutrient-dense choices become your foundation. Discipline in small daily actions becomes your quiet weapon. These are not dramatic solutions. They are steady commitments. A balanced plate, a short walk, a gentle stretch, a consistent bedtime, a mindful breath. Repeated daily, they create stability that no sudden effort can replace. Aging does not demand fear. It demands wisdom. It asks you to be deliberate, to eat with purpose rather than habit, to move with intention rather than impulse, to rest without guilt, to strengthen what you still have instead of mourning what has changed. The body listens to what you do every day. It adapts upward when challenged gently and consistently. It weakens when ignored. The choice is not between youth and age. The choice is between neglect and preparation. You may not control time, but you control your response to it. And that response shapes the quality of your years. Stability is built quietly, meal by meal, step by step, breath by breath. Choose preparation over panic. Choose discipline over delay. Choose nourishment over emptiness. Let your later years reflect wisdom, not regret. Thank you for listening. Stay strong, stay steady, and may God bless you with health and peace always.